Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. I hope you're in the best of health and iman. So this is just a short video, inshallah, regarding a sister who is in need of all of our help. Firstly with dua, sincere dua for Allah to inshallah ease her suffering and take her out of the pain that she's going through. And secondly, to do what's within your means, inshallah, to help this sister out. So before I go into the story of what's actually happened with this sister, I'd like to remind everyone that everybody will go through trials in life, whether that's small trials, big trials, or trial after trial, just like this specific sister has been going through. This whole life is a test for us, as you all know. So Allah can afflict us with trials at any time. Whether we're in a position of sadness, whether we're in happiness, whether it doesn't matter which background we're from, what job we do, how much wealth we have, a trial can come out of nowhere. And those who are truly successful are those who are patient throughout their trials. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in a hadith, if Allah intends good for someone, then He'll afflict him with a trial. So Allah tests those whom He loves. So anytime someone goes through a trial or a test, they should always see it as a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be patient throughout it, and know that there's always a solution, and Allah will always look after His slave who's patient throughout it and understands that the qadr of Allah has been written, and whatever the person is afflicted with has been written that is going to happen to that person, no matter what. So the specific case for this sister, which I'm going to ask for your help for you to make dua, and hopefully, as you'll see towards the end, financially help this sister. So a few years ago, I actually was informed of the passing of her son, whose name was Zain, and he was a young boy. So I'm just going to show you quickly a family picture of the 4 children whom this sister has. So as you can see, you have Zain, who is the one at the back, and he's the oldest son, and you have Jasmine there and the 2 younger brothers. So unfortunately, in 2013, Zain sadly passed away, and I was actually with a friend at the janazah myself, and subhanallah, it tore the family apart, but they stuck together. And they were patient throughout this sad ordeal. The saddest thing is that wasn't that was a huge trial for the family. But on this sister specifically, who was the mother of Zain, she had a massive trial following just a few months later. Sadly, the husband divorced her, and he left her with the 3 other kids to look after them. So in a situation where somebody passes away within a family, I'm sure many of you are aware that the family bond has to be, they have to be really close together for you to be able to get through that sadness, especially when it's losing a child who's young, and especially for the children. So when the children lose a sibling, they'll get confused, they don't know why, they don't know what's happening, and they'll always need both parents around them if they're alive to help them get through it. So unfortunately, the father did divorce the wife, and he's left the kids to be looked after by the mother. And as you'll see in the link that I'll share with you, there were sad situations like the kids asking the mother, doesn't he like us anymore? Why has he left us? And it's a very saddening situation. But this was just the second trial of many. So firstly, the sister lost her oldest son Zain, who died quite suddenly. Secondly, she lost her husband, who divorced her. And the next trial to come was that Jasmine, who was the second oldest, who's now the oldest child, sadly Allah willed that she would develop leukemia, which is blood cancer. So she has been through loads of suffering over the last 9 months to a year. I've kept into close contact with one of the male members of the family, and have seen the progress. She's actually moved to Birmingham to have chemotherapy at Birmingham Children's Hospital, and I'll show you the latest picture right now. It shows Jasmine at one of the stages after chemotherapy, and as you can see, she's the girl here, and she's completely lost her hair. This is one of the side effects of chemotherapy, and it's very, very horrible to happen to anyone. As many of you know, it's happened to my oldest sister, who passed away sadly from cancer in 2014, and she lost her hair as well. So you can see that it's something that nobody should go through, but when a child goes through it, it's even harder. And going back to the sister situation, she's lost Zayn, she's lost her husband, and now her oldest daughter has developed cancer. And not just that, there's also issues with the other children, which I won't delve into, but none of these anybody could do anything about, because these are the qadr of Allah. All you can do is make dua and help them in that respect. But the last trial that the sister's going through is that she could possibly end up losing her home where she lives with these children, and she's lived throughout her life, even when Zayn was alive, and she's now in a position where she could lose her home within the next 2 to 3 months, because of her ex-husband and court settlements, etc. So what she needs from us right now is financial help, inshallah, and at the same time loads and loads of dua, because she has a specific amount which she has to raise in order for her to keep her home. Alhamdulillah, she's managed to raise most of it, but there's just a remaining £30,000 left to raise. But alhamdulillah, I've checked the link earlier, it's already reached about 7,000, so there's only £23,000 left to raise to help this family who've been through suffering after suffering after suffering, but they've been extremely patient, and now someone is in need, so we need to step up, and inshallah we can all help them. If we can't donate anything, then at least please share this video around. Maybe somebody can donate and you can share in the reward for that. So when we see someone in need, we should always try and put ourselves in that situation and love for our brother what we love for ourselves, because anybody else who I can think who's in that situation won't be able to handle all of these trials. Well, alhamdulillah, the sister's been very, very strong. She's been very patient, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed her, alhamdulillah, with continued patience, and she's been alhamdulillah, she's been looked after by family and friends, but now it's our turn to help, and then I hope that inshallah all of you can open your wallets and donate what you can on the link that I'm going to share. And please, please, please share this video on your Facebook pages, on your WhatsApp, Twitter, social media, etc. And hopefully other people can donate and we can hit this target. We've only got about 2.5 months to hit it, and I'm confident that we can do it, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.